Okay, I'm on the Bell Route here on the Trail of Tears, and here's an interesting gentleman with an interesting story.
Hi, I'm Ed Stafford. I live out here, and saw a gentleman here, and I came to tell him about we've got a coyote problem. We got a pack of coyotes with at least 30. I've seen more than that, but they say the game fish is saying you got 30 in the pack. And I've been warning him to kind of. I don't think it would bother him during the daytime. That's the way it is right now. But it's to be kind of watching out for itself. We don't want it to be a cheeseburger. But yeah, we got really over here across the railroad tracks. We have a family of cougars.
Wow.
And I was driving down. The Marche Road is over across the tracks over. And I was coming down this hill a few weeks back, and a big buck deer came running by, just 100 miles an hour, and two looked like cougar yearlings behind it, trying to hook it. But it's just kind of spooky. Well, what it is what they call the Marche sloughs back over here, about 3 or 4 miles away. And they're draining it to build houses, and all animals have got to go someplace.
Yeah.
So that's what's causing this.
So now you said that the coyotes they killed your cats.
I've had 7 cats, and they killed 2 of my cats, and there was one here a few nights ago. All my animals were alerted over, and the coyote was walking down the side of the road here, had a cat in the mouth. He went out for takeout. But he was headed that way over there. And over here, you can see they're digging a water pit, I guess you would call it, over here, back of this place over here, and they're running animals out of them over there too.
Wow.
And we have a bear season now. This is kind of a wild place. We got bears. I saw a big female about 3 weeks ago. I was coming down this side road over here, and just I got to intersection, woods blew up. And first I went to my mind was, dang, I just saw Bigfoot dragging a bowling ball. And it turned out, when I got a good look at it, it was a mama cinnamon bear. And what the bowling ball she was dragging was her cub was on her. And I found out she'd been in some people's beehives, eating honey. They said she grabbed up the cub and stuck it on her foot and took off running.
Wow.
So I decided to come on. But you're on the Trail of Tears?
I'm hiking the Trail of Tears. I've been hiking it so far, and I'm 2 months into it. I'll be finishing it up just north of Fort Smith. I think it's Evansville is up there.
Well, I've got a farm at a little place called Whiteville, Arkansas. It's about 20 miles from the Missouri border. Mm-hmm. And the Trail of Tears, back when it came through, passed on the old, at that time it was an old wagon trail.
Yes.
Passed on the front of my place, and when I got to the edge of it, they got to a town called Midway. Did you ever saw the Burt River?
Yeah.
Not Midway. Midville. But anyway, that's where Burt and Lonnie lived. Used to live before he passed.
Wow.
You know, Burt was a Seminole Indian.
Is that right?
Yeah, Burt there.
Now this is the Bell Route. This is the southern route of the Trail of Tears, and the route that you're talking about north, that's the northern route of the Trail of Tears where they came in.
This is also the stagecoach line.
Right, the Butterfield Overland, yes.
There are several signs out there, the original Butterfield. And there used to be a coach house down here at the Christie Hill Road that when I was in high school, a friend of mine, his family lived in it.
Wow.
And they talked about how haunted it was. They said that they were the Coddles, they lived in it, and they said at night you could hear gunfights and cars, people talking, cussing and carrying on.
Is that right?
And he said his daddy would get up, at first his dad would get up and get his pistol, think somebody was breaking in. And they'd walk into the back room where I was working and nothing, was real quiet.
Wow, that's...
And he said after a while they just got where they would ignore it.
Yeah, I've stayed in a house before, an Airbnb. Yeah. And I on the second floor, and I forget what the house used to be. I think it used to belong to the mayor, or it was a historical house. I stayed upstairs, and in the room I had across the hall, there was a meeting room.
Yeah.
And the owner was telling me that back in the day that this was a social house where, you know, people upstanding in the society would gather and they'd have tea in that room. One night I heard a crowd of people drinking tea and
there
having,
is an afterlife.
man, they was gathered, and I went in that room, there was nobody in there.
There is an afterlife. I've had several experiences of what I consider. I had my house blew up. It was in March about 5 years ago. I'd been out back cutting grass, and I'm bad diabetic. And I went in and sat down and turned my fan on, and I sat in there, and this voice said, "Ed, you need to go get ice cream." And I said, "No," and there wasn't anybody there.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, it was good. No, I can't go. I'm diabetic." And the voice said, "Ed, you need to go get that ice cream." I said, "Okay." So I got up. By the time I was going to Kroger's about 5 miles up the road. By the time I was about to get there, my best friend called. My house was blown up. And
Wow.
I'm thinking, and that voice was my daddy, I think. And my daddy had passed away in 75.
Wow,
He'd
that's.
been dead 25 years.
Now I've heard voices. I've heard people talk to me. There's nobody out there. I'd be in the woods or I'd be in the back country. I've heard my name called several times. I've heard people talking to me, and I'll turn and look, and there's nobody there.
And I've heard a lot of TV evangelists talk about the afterlife. They say that there are like guardian angels around us all the time.
Yeah, there's angels.
And they said they can make their voice heard. Hey, go get ice cream, you know.
You know, that's something I never thought about. A guardian angel could.
Well,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's an old belief. It might be your daddy, it might be your mama, it might be your brother, sister, or friend that got killed. Say I got killed in Vietnam or something.
Mm-hmm. Wow, well, that's interesting. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And this place here, I don't believe they would mind if you camped out.
Oh, I'm not. It's too early for me to
Oh,
set
I
up my
know.
camp. I'm going to try to make it to the river today.
Arkansas River.